Welcome back, team. Welcome back to the Scratch Record podcast. We are an indie music podcast. If you're here for the guest and you don't know who we are, then we're an indie music podcast. We interview bands mainly. We bring bands up from all over the shop and we talk about what they do. Big, small, medium size, whatever they are, wherever
weight
from.
they are.
You can't say that.
We don't discriminate. Absolutely any size person is welcome, because that would be disgusting if we discriminated based on that. So, yeah.
If you are new around here, then make sure you subscribe and make sure you like the video. Make sure you are checking us out on our previous episodes that we have released, also from Truckfest. And we do actually have 3 of the seasons that are behind us.
Yeah.
Like in our discography.
In the archives.
The archives, yeah. Go check us out. We're all over the shop, the Scratch Record podcast, everywhere. So yeah, this interview was wild. We weren't expecting it to happen. So I hope you enjoy. Oh, before you do get into the interview, the sound isn't perfect. The sound, I know the sound's not perfect, but I wanted to preface it.
Yeah.
Chiefly because
this is the normal quality.
And I am very, very, very pedantic about it. So it did annoy me a little bit, but it's a brilliant interview. So enjoy.
It is.
Are you rolling?
We're going, aren't we?
Are you sure?
Okay, so this is the Scratch Record podcast. I'm with these guys. I could pretend to remember their names, but I'm an arrogant cunt. I'm JaackMaate, and we're chatting about waffle today.
Here he is. Hello, mate. How are you?
That's a tenner you owe me.
That was way more excited than you get in happy hour anyway. So
That's because I'm not with Steve.
yeah. Where is Steve? He's okay? Is he well?
Yeah, he's all right. He was here. It's like his birthday gift to
nice.
and then I won't go into it, but he's had to go home basically.
Actually,
Shit.
Oh,
it's not like an emergency or anything, but something has to be done.
Okay, lovely. We hope you're okay.
It was absolutely gutted to be going. But
Of course. Oh, bless him. Oh,
How are you guys?
Yeah, mate, we're fucking sound.
Yeah?
We've had a great day. We've literally set up here on the floor of our podcast setup, and we've had bands and artists just come through and interview, mate.
Love
so
it.
it's been our pinnacle, to be fair.
Love it.
Where we're at the
But
moment.
really at home,
sick.
like it's one of the ones where you start getting into it and you realise that you spoke to some of these bands before and stuff, and they feel like mates now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like you get into it and it's
100%.
like.
But
you become friends.
I've got a question for you.
Go
So
on,
you
then.
say you've interviewed a lot of bands,
Yeah.
and stuff, right? Do you find, because I'm so lucky, I've interviewed a lot of big people, and that's not a flex. The reason why I say that is because I find the bigger people, weirdly, are more sound than the smaller people.
Yeah.
Because I find like the A-listers, they know what they're doing.
Yeah,
They've been around the block.
yeah.
The Z-listers, like the Love Island stars, they've been given it overnight and they think they're the big guy.
Tell you what, we won't name names because we've interviewed lots of
go
people.
on.
No.
That's what they want. That's what they want.
We can't.
You have a
Too
lot.
professional. Too professional.
Oh, surely because we do all the work with them.
Yeah. They're still bigger than, they're smaller name, but they're bigger than us. So
Right.
we still need them to be on side. But like, you interview some people, and like when you're a smaller band, you trying to make a name for yourself. So you put on a bit of an act. They have a bit of a little bit of a like. We're a little bit. We're a little bit miserable. We're a little bit cool. We're a little bit whatever. And we struggle with that because we were very upbeat.
I should respect it, but I hate it.
Yes.
Because it's like, why have you got to put on a fucking act?
Yes.
Like,
That's the thing.
like I said, and again, I'm not flexing, but like, I'm so fortunate to met a load of people, right?
Yeah.
And like, there's the ones who are sound, who are genuine, right? It doesn't matter how fucking big they are.
Yeah.
Like, they don't take it on board, right?
No,
and like, the biggest compliment anyone can give to me, I meet a lot of people, like even here, like I was saying to you, like, I met a lot of people here, and everyone's been so fucking lovely. And they can come up to me and they can say, the podcast is amazing, you're funny, whatever. I know that's cringe, but the best thing they can say to me is you're so genuine. Because like, literally, no matter how successful you get, you can't change where you're from. And I'm from a council estate. My mum's an alcoholic, and my dad like went to prison for accidentally killing someone. Right? And then I literally had no money for years. So all I want people to know is just don't change. And it's mad.
That's one of the things that we've noticed. It's like there's a weird middle ground. Like, so the bigger ones we've done like the Wombats and we've done Crawlers and people like that. They're pretty decent sized artists now, and you know they're really, really sound. But then there's like a middle realm where they're like, it almost seems like they're a little bit too big for their boots. And they're like, oh yeah, we're doing all right, sort of thing. And you think, really, you're not necessarily in that stage where you have that reason to be that arrogant.
In my
it's
opinion,
unnecessary anyway.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But in my opinion, I don't think anyone can be in that position. And I don't care if you're fucking Kings of Leon, the Killers. I don't care. Everyone is on the same fucking level.
You are.
Like,
Everyone is.
Like even yourself. Like I respect it, but when people come over and they go, "I'm sorry for asking for a photo," it's like, why are you sorry? Like you've given me this fucking life.
I did apologise profusely.
But you should. You should.
No, I get it though.
I've always been like
that. It's weird with you because I said to Elle when I got back and I had a chat and I obviously listen to your podcast week in, week out.
Right.
So it's like, I said it's so strange because you go over a sense of like, I know you so well.
There is a parasocial
It's so strange. I know you wouldn't have had this a lot of times, but I was like, I know you better. And when you started speaking, I was like, I almost know what you're going to say. You have no fucking clue who I am. It's so rogue. Like that social interaction is strange.
But even the fact you're aware of that already puts you ahead of the load. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Because like, I'm not trying to disrespect anyone that comes up to me, but there's a difference between someone who's aware of that and someone who's not. So like, Thursday night, and again, I do not want to come across like arrogant here, because I love it. Like everyone that meets me is so sound, and I appreciate that. Like, who am I to get this fucking? I'm like you guys, and like like if I don't know if people come up to you, I don't.
Well, we've had a few. We've had one or two.
Which is the singular best feeling I've ever had.
Yeah.
Someone comes up to you and goes, "I'm the Scratch Record podcast."
I'm so glad you admit that. I'm so glad you admit that, because it is a good feeling.
Yeah.
It's an ego tickle.
It is.
And you can't deny that. You can't.
No.
And then when we come here Thursday, we were watching Blossoms, I think, and it was one after the other.
Yeah.
And that's so lovely.
Yeah.
But I said to Joel, like, Joel's not in this line of work, but I said, I can't enjoy this.
Yeah.
I just can't. But it's no one's fault.
Yeah.
It's no one's fault.
Yeah.
Because I'm here on a free anyway.
Yeah.
And if it wasn't for all those people coming up to me, I wouldn't be here anyway.
Yeah.
So I owe everything to
100%, 100%, mate. Yeah.
So I can't lie.
At the same time, you do want to stand and watch it and have a little minute to yourself. And I get you feel like you're a bad person for saying that.
Of course.
But it's not. It's completely not true. Like you have to feel like you want your own space. And even when I came to speak to you, I said if you make it through them doors out the press area, I wouldn't come up to you. It'd always be like you're off on your day then, and I always be a bit like. So I probably would, because you don't get that chance very often, do you? But I don't know.
Well,
I feel like you're a bit like you're off because we're in the press bit. I was a bit more like I could come up to you because I don't know. There's not loads of people here.
See, I think
it's easier.
I think, and I'm not trying to come across like a huge A-lister. You'll probably meet Sam Fender later. He's like way bigger than I am. But the way you came over was sound. Like literally, I was walking back with Fee, and I think I mentioned earlier, I didn't get emotional, but I got a little bit emotional because of how lovely everyone, like including yourself.
Mate, I'm so
everyone
glad.
has been so. I met a girl like the go-to that I hear a lot, and this isn't to play it down. This is fucking lovely, but I hear you helped me through lockdown, right? And I'm like, that means a lot.
It's massive.
I appreciate it. But when, like, with anything, even if this comes across country, when you hear it all the time, you become a bit numb to it.
Of
the
course.
first few times it meant loads.
Yeah.
Met a girl last night, and she was like, she's an attractive girl, like lovely girl.
Yeah.
And she said, I used to be massively overweight. And I was like, oh, fair, well, you look great. She went, you helped me lose weight. I went, how the fuck?
Sorry. I've listened to every podcast for years. I've not lost any fucking weight. How have you done that?
Can I get on top?
The reason she like justified it, she said, I used to go running and listen to you.
Oh, yeah.
And I looked
nice,
at the thing, I was like, that's madness.
That's crazy.
It's weird,
mate.
the impact you
the impact that you have on people is. But it's even like we say to people when like we're getting JaackMaate on. Sometimes you have to kind of. Obviously, not everyone is like fully aware. And I went on top UK episodes today to be like, oh, we'll see where you are. Fucking second episode in the UK at the moment, mate.
Mad.
So and
what's
that's
that
like that's fucking mental to us.
What's that been like? Because obviously you signed that Spotify stuff, it all came through, and
Yeah.
what was that actually like for you then? As that being announced and as that came out of the woodwork, like how did you feel when that came through?
So it's a tough one, right? Because I did my YouTube for about 10 years.
Yeah.
Weren't getting anywhere for about 5 years. Slagged off Soella's advent calendar.
Yes.
It boomed me like overnight. Like,
Fuck that calendar.
I genuinely can't think of anyone who's had a big switch overnight.
Yeah,
I genuinely did. My granddad would come to my flat and we'd watch my subscriber count go up, and I was like, this is all I've ever wanted. Can't believe it. But then after that, because I didn't follow it up with a banger, I've never really, being honest, I've never had the passion to upload. Like I've met a lot of YouTube, and it's not me trying to be like the white knight. Like, don't get me wrong. I'll look in the camera now and say, I'm in the game for the money. That's the best thing about it. Right? But also, in the same breath, I don't care about the money purely because I'm privileged enough to have made it.
Of course.
So I just stopped uploading for a while, Then about 3-4 years ago, I decided to do a podcast. Tried a couple, they failed. Called Stevie Up. We started it. And I'll tell you now, lads, I had no idea how much it was going to blow up. Like, literally, I'd go as far to say 100% of the people that meet me now say about the podcast.
Yeah.
And that is all I want. I went to college in 2018. I studied interview techniques and interviewed my granddad. And I knew that was my passion. And now
That's
I'm
fucking crazy.
Now, I'm not sure if that answers your question or not.
No, yeah, 100%.
No, definitely. It's one of them ones where, like, when you find that niche that really, like, you push that YouTube stuff, and the YouTube stuff seemed like at the time was the real what you wanted. You wanted that subscriber count, and not following it up. It kind of shows that really it wasn't. It's what you wanted at the time. And then as it comes through to doing something else, you realise that passion, and that's why the drive is there, and you continue to get these views and the continuation of it is because of the drive and the passion of what you're doing. It's continuous.
I'd say you're half bang on with that.
Yeah.
So you're bang on in respect of, like, the podcast is my passion.
Yeah.
I love it. Like, a lot of people say the main shows, it's just me, Stevie and Robbie, like, are their favourites, but I'm like, that's not really. I love interviewing people. I love getting into, like, in
People's
the brain.
lives.
Yeah. I've never really had a passion to do the main videos, like,
Really?
never. Like, people loved it,
Yeah.
and I kind of fell in the trap. Like, I think that Zoella advent calendar, like, I proper hated that calendar.
Yeah,
That's why I
yeah.
made that video, and I never expected it to go that big. And I've said this on Steve Bartlett's podcast before. I don't know if you listened to it.
Yeah.
But, like, because that went so big, I was in my room, right, and I was heavily depressed, and I was just like, I made a lot of money from that calendar video, so I'd turn the camera on and go, who can I slag off today?
Yeah.
Ollie White. And Ollie White has never done anything wrong to me at all. Oh, he sold a t-shirt for 30 quid. It might have been 20 quid. Like, who gives a shit?
Who cares?
I would turn the
Yeah.
camera on and I'd have a script and I'd be like this. I'd go, Ollie White, what a dickhead. Selling them for 30 quid, prick. I'd turn the camera off and I'd just sit there going, I do not
Don't wanna
care.
do this.
Do what you want to do. Like, if you want to make money, make money. Do you know what I mean? So...
Right, team, sorry to interrupt the podcast. It is only being interrupted by us, so it's a little bit strange. We're sponsoring ourselves this week, but we thought we'd do an ad read for Town Takeover, the indie music festival that we are putting on September 24th in Northampton. It's going to be an unbelievable day of indie music. We've organised some big bands like Bilk, Coversets and Second Thoughts, as well as nearly 30 other bands, I think, now that are playing on the lineup. It's an all-day event, 3 o'clock till about 1 a.m. with the after-party ticket. And I think if we do say to ourselves, we have created one of the best indie music festivals we've seen, and certainly one of the best things Northampton's ever seen. So
yeah, definitely. I think it's one of them festivals that now it's going to be a start for a lot of things coming. So if you support this first one, it's only got one way to go and it's up. So make sure you're getting a ticket, £20 at the moment on tsrp.co.uk.
yeah, that is pretty much it. Get a ticket, get involved. Early birds have sold out and there was quite a lot of them. So ticket sales are going, so if you want to be there, we do really encourage you to get on in advance. It will also just help us to keep a lid on where the festival's going and make sure our budgets are going well, because that's the most important thing. So support us, support Northampton, support new music, and grab a ticket now, and we promise it will not disappoint.
And if you want a ticket, that is again tsrp.co.uk. The tickets are all there. If you go on the buy ticket section, it's a drop-down bar. It leads you to the page to all the events that we're putting on. At the moment, it is just Town Takeover, but there is also going to be some more events coming on. So make sure you sign up to the mailing list as well as buying a ticket for the new event. Enjoy the rest of the podcast.
Is that one? Did it affect your mental health going into that and striving to almost slag off people? Because it's obviously the negative connotation that's going through. Did that have that impact on you personally?
100%. Like, I've always suffered with OCD. I've been quite open about that.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a thing that I have, and it goes through like peaks and troughs. So sometimes it brings me down, but I can mainly cope with it.
Yeah.
But what I couldn't deal with is, tell you the truth, like, I always wanted to be a big YouTuber.
Yeah.
So like when I met like Cal Freezy and people like that, and they were like, "You're the guy that slags everyone off." Like, I hated
You
that.
don't
I felt
like-
like the
that
black sheep.
reputation.
But then I was conflicted because it was like, but if I do that, it gets me loads of views.
At least they know who you are. You won't know what it is for.
Exactly
like,
that. Exactly that. So it was like, what do I want more? Success or being proud of the content? You know what I mean? Like, I've not uploaded on my main channel for about a year.
Yeah.
I could come back tomorrow with a video called Ollie White's latest shoes are taking the piss.
Yeah,
right? But how can you do it when you don't have the passion
No,
for
mate,
it?
100%.
Absolutely.
And I think that's why the podcast has done so well, is that it's genuine.
Right.
And that's what, to me, that's what I love. And I do love the main shows, but I love the interviews as well, because I like the way that you interview is a lot of the like inspiration for the way that we interview. So,
okay, cool.
The idea is for us is that there's a lot of smaller indie bands.
Right.
They're a little bit lower level.
Yeah.
No, when people interview them, they go, "When's your new single out?
Yeah.
What was the last gig you played?
Nah.
Brilliant. Good luck."
That's
And
what people think you should do.
I hate that.
Ask the normal shit. What's your meal deal? I know how stupid the meal deal question is,
it's
but it makes people normal.
It's everything, and that's why we do the quick fire question. It's cringy, but at the same time, you're getting these people that people haven't asked about them ever.
Yeah,
so
they're buzzing
fuck
over it.
Fuck your music.
Yeah.
Actually, people listen to that.
Yes.
Who are you?
Yeah,
and that's
100%.
what that inspiration generally comes from the way that you interview people. I think, like on Happy Hour, when someone comes on, you go, I don't even really care about their like career and what they've done. You're gonna get into who that person is.
Normality.
The normality. The meal deal. The fucking the this or that.
100%.
The stuff that you're gonna ask something about, like fucking chat about the naughtiest thing they did in school.
Yeah.
That's everything. That's what
so
you want to see.
glad
And we
you agree
take
with that.
so much inspiration from that, because
So
that's
glad you
like
agree with that.
we've had people in today that you go, they've been asked about festivals and music and stuff all day. We've asked some fucking anything.
I asked someone. So we do like at the end of the episodes, we used to do a scenario situations.
Okay.
So I'd chuck you into a scenario, and then you'd tell me the person in your band that's most likely to like do the thing.
Okay.
So like we have ones from everything from, we did one earlier that was it's 1945, 1942. It's middle of World War II. A Nazi crashes in your garden. Who are you sending out to go restrain the
out of
Nazi?
their band.
Out of their band.
Right.
Who's gonna do it? And no one really kind of gives them that. It's almost like an edgier question that actually. They've never had anything about that.
I completely agree. Like the normality. Like when you come up to me earlier, you were so normal.
Yes.
I loved it. Like, I was able to take the piss out of your shirt.
Yeah,
it's
mate.
fine.
It's
fine.
everything.
Like again, sound like I come, but you hear the same things on repeat all the
course,
time. Like people come over and they say the same thing, and that's fine. They're a bit nervous, but if you don't mind me saying, the reason why I don't think that's the greatest ending question. Is because you want to cast a wide net. You want to get as much audience as you can.
Yeah.
So there might be some people watching who don't know the band you're interviewing.
Yeah.
So when you say out of your band, who's most, they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you want to ask a more open question. So like and I'm not preaching. You boys do whatever the fuck you want to do.
We'll always take advice.
It's just advice. I'm not a master of it. I'm not a master of it. But like what I do on mine is I say, what's the meaning of life? Because it doesn't matter whether they give a silly answer, philosophical answer, a true answer, a bullshit answer.
Yeah.
There's always some intrigue from someone who doesn't know them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
what we normally do is, so we do like a section on it. So it'll be a multiple questions where it's almost like because a lot of times we get the front man that comes in.
Okay,
So our attempt is to try and like bring out in an interesting way of seeing what other band members are like, in a sense of like trying to, so that's only one example, but like whether it being like are they maybe a violent type, are they maybe a drinker, are they maybe like, there's loads of different situations that we put them in. But it's one of the ones where like I do respect it doesn't necessarily like people don't.
I think Stephen Bartlett nailed it, didn't he, with the way that he does it, where you have to ask a question and the next guest
that's
answers
really
it.
cool.
And I think that is
fucking
genius. That
it's so good. But
to open it,
when you say about the multiple question thing, are you giving them the answers they can choose from?
No.
So what do you mean by multiple answers?
So no, multiple questions. So we'll do like a section where we'll
ask them like three or four scenario
questions.
Like what? Like hit me with them.
So that
we've got them written down.
I do
Go on,
have one.
hit me.
You can pick between Stevie, Robbie, and Alfie.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Right. So you've gone to Russia on a podcast tour, right?
Right.
You get ambushed by the mafia.
Right.
They sling you in the back of a van.
Yeah.
Someone in the group has got to drink a bottle of vodka by the time they get to the destination to let you free. Who are you putting to do it?
Me, Stevie, and Alfie.
Yeah. Fuck
Alfie, no chance.
Well, Robbie.
No chance.
What about Robbie?
Robbie's a good drinker.
Yeah.
He's slurry.
Is he?
Yeah.
I'm a lover when I'm drunk. You know what I mean? He's slurry.
Yeah, he gets a little bit.
Alfie is. You remember him the other night? It's the worst I've ever seen. I've never seen anyone like it.
Don't need to go into that.
Okay. Can I tell him about Wes Burns though?
Yes.
Yeah, tell them about
Right, so Alfie's an Ipswich fan and he got smashed at Robbie's FIFA tournament.
Super. Yeah.
We brought him back to mine. We were holding his head up and he was like slurry. And he went, "Where's Wes Burns?" And that's the Ipswich captain.
Yeah.
What is he going to do in this moment?
Why is he useful? But just that answer you gave. that is perfect.
Right.
Because the example is that.
Yeah.
So you've got a lead singer that does exactly that. He goes, oh, do you know what? The drummer would do that because he did this, and then he would do that, and they'd tell a story, and you're like, right, we've dragged something out of you in that sense.
About someone that's not there.
But then because you're giving them the answers, you're giving them like a few options.
No, so it's
Well,
not
only
we're only
within the band,
giving the options
in the sense
within their
of-
band. So
yeah.
within a sense, we are.
But,
Yeah.
So they could, in theory, give you a one-word answer. Couldn't
Yes,
they?
they could. And
Which
we have had
sometimes
that.
has
It does
happened.
happen.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, that's like, I don't want to be preachy, but that
No,
could
please do, yeah.
that could be like shooting yourself in the
foot,
foot.
yeah.
That's why we used to open with "What's your go-to meal deal?"
Yeah.
because everyone in the UK has one.
Yeah.
And people on Reddit would say that's boring, but it's like, but also you get to know a lot about people, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
actually surprised at how many people care what I rate their meal
Yeah,
deal.
it's massive,
So,
isn't it?
Who put
Yeah.
me in charge? I don't
Yeah.
And then the meaning of life, it can be so out there.
Yeah.
I do like
Yeah.
the meaning of life. It's one of them ones where like with bands and stuff like that and musicians, it can be quite difficult to drag stuff out of them that because some of them aren't media trained. Some of them it's their first couple of times they've done it. They don't really know how to react, and it's we do carry a conversation between us. And we just bring people in. It's
No, you
kind of
guys
the
are great,
main
yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah.
But it's been a weird one. But no, we do really take I'm glad that just to have someone else that does podcasts because it's one of them.
It's fucking mental,
It's one of the ones
amazing.
we
Do not take my advice. I'm just telling
Are
you.
you joking? Oh, right, yeah, it's second biggest episode of the UK at the moment. Oh, I don't know about podcasts. Give it a fucking break.
Oh, yeah,
Jesus.
not gonna
How long have you guys been doing it?
We've been doing it
2
now,
years.
2 years now. So
About 2 years.
75
Started in
episodes in.
lockdown.
See, I don't want to sound patronising, but you're way above the level you should be after 2 years.
Oh, thank you, mate.
literally,
No, that's a
literally.
massive
2
compliment
years
to
into
us,
doing my
like-
YouTube videos, I was a cringy cunt. So you guys are doing just fine.
Thank you, mate.
Thank you,
That's
bro.
much appreciated.
That means a lot, man.
Before you go, because I'm
Yeah.
sure you want to carry on with your fucking evening.
It's all good. I met Barry from EastEnders, so I'm
So
ready.
you fucking gassed.
Complete.
Yeah.
Complete.
We're getting Barry on afterwards, by the way. You can talk about his music.
is he coming
no,
on?
no, is he fucking
Get him on!
I don't know. We should get him
I'm gonna
on.
do it anyway.
We should get him on. Fucking hell.
Mate, you do it. It's very sound.
He's
It sound as fuck. Yeah.
I
I'll
love how
ask him.
gassed you are. I can
Mate,
literally tell how gassed you are.
Sorry if I've already said this on air because that's been my go-to thing. But literally, because I've met so many people,
Yeah.
I've never been so excited to meet Barry.
Barry.
Fuck
mate.
Ricky
Big
Gervais.
fucking buzzer.
Barry.
Yeah.
And I literally had a shower earlier because I said to Joel, I went, if I meet Barry from EastEnders and I'm sweatier than him, I will kill myself. I will literally kill myself.
Right in front of him, I will stab myself in the neck.
fucking gun in my throat. No offense, Barry. Mate.
Yeah, cheers, Barry. He's on a minute. He's on a minute. A couple of little music questions.
Go on.
I know you've been to your fair share of festivals.
Yeah.
And have you got any sort of good stories from festivals that you've been to? Anyone good that you've met?
I think, like you guys have interviewed a fair few people. 99% of people are sound. Isn't
Yeah.
it? Like you think they'd be dicks, but they're sound. I've only met a handful of cunts in my life, and the worst person that I've ever met is Machine Gun Kelly.
Really?
That's fucking mental.
By-
Which is really sad because I really like it.
We
Mate,
fucking love him.
I do.
I love his music,
He did a
man.
song with Youngblood, like
Yeah.
"Watch me take
Do
you
it, fuck it all up in one night.
I love that.
Yeah, it's big.
And I'm not so bitter that I don't listen to that song anymore. I still listen to it, I love it. But I will preface this by saying, like, this sounds like I'm trying to like save face. I'm genuinely not, but I honestly did not give a shit about him at all, right?
Yeah.
But my Fiona, she doesn't really like many artists, but she
Yeah.
loves him. So we go and watch him. We watch Youngblood, and he brings Machine Gun Kelly out, and I was like, this fucking kills. Like, he's doing so
Yeah,
sick.
yeah.
And then Fiona goes back to the tent, and I'm in the guest area. I've met a few people in the guest area who shouldn't really go over. Like, it's,
Yeah.
you can do. Like, if you're respectful like you were, like, you can
Yeah,
do what you
yeah,
want.
yeah.
But like, it's a bit of a vibe. there.
Yeah.
And so I went over to him. I went, "Hiya, mate." I went, "My missus loves you. She genuinely does." I went, "Can I get a photo?" And he had this spliff. And he looked at me and he went, looked down at the floor. I went,
Did he actually?
Yeah, and then I went,
What a cunt.
and it gets worse. Trust me, it gets worse, yeah. I went, "Is that okay?" And then he turned to me again. He went, "Hurry up and take the photo, motherfucker." And literally, I didn't know what to do. I was like, do I go for it or do I not go for it?
What did you do?
Mate, I was a cringy.
He took the photo.
Yeah,
He was like,
literally, right? You can find it online. Google JaackMaate Machine Gun Kelly, right? He's there looking at the floor like this, and I'm going like a fucking melt.
Mate.
Stevie said he was shaking, taking the photo.
Yeah,
About
fucking
all
hell,
that.
Mate,
Yeah.
I can't. I have to admit, if anyone ever talks to me like that, I'm not very good.
If anyone says motherfucker,
That's what you should do.
I just tell him to fuck
That
off.
is what you should do.
if someone said motherfucker in real life, I'd walk away.
Right,
But
that's
you
what you
don't,
should
that's
do.
not in real life. You don't
Yeah,
do that,
like,
do
mate.
you?
Oh,
Like,
you have
dealing
like a
with
fight
that.
or flight instinct,
Mate,
and
I
I
can't be
thought I
doing
was
that.
the flight. but I was like not even fight. I was just suck his dick.
Yeah, I'm going to say Mr. Kelly.
Yeah. What do you call him, Mr. Kelly?
Yeah. Mr. Gun, sorry, sir. I do respect him at the same time. If you'd have told me to fuck off over there, I'd still be like, yeah, but
right.
Can we get a picture?
And the thing is, then you'd have gone away the whole rest of your life thinking I'm a dickhead.
Cunt JaackMaate.
Exactly. Exactly. I was saying to Fee, there's no humble way of saying it, but so many people come over.
Yes.
It takes 3 minutes of my life to chat to someone, and I have been blown away by how fucking kind people have been.
Yeah.
Like I was saying about the girl that lost weight or whatever. Like, why would you? I've met cunts. Why would you be? If anything, if we're going to look at it like completely honestly and selfishly, it's good PR. If you went away and put that selfie on your social media, it was like, JaackMate's actually quality. There'll be a selection of your people who follow you who think I'm a cunt. Who go, oh, that's changed my life. And there'll be other people who go, I don't know who that guy is. So that shouldn't be your intention. You should just be a good guy.
Just a nice person.
But it does matter, and like it's interesting. We were talking, me and Trippy over there doing the old laptop. Because we bumped into Sam Fender on the way in.
Okay, so what's he like?
Mate, he was very nice. He was quite clearly tired.
Right.
He had a coffee.
Yeah.
It was about 11 o'clock this morning. He looked like he'd just woken up, to be fair.
Right.
And he was in the press area by his bus. So we drove past to drop all this shit off.
Right.
And my instinct was like, don't fucking bother the bloke.
Yeah.
And then you have that, like, I parked up and I was like, look, you might never get to meet Sam Fender again in your life, mightn't you? So I was like, look, we've got to go over. So I went over. He was very lovely. He didn't say much. I kind of said, how are you, mate? You looking forward to it today? And he was like, yeah, I am. Like, he didn't say loads, but he was lovely. Yeah. And he took a picture of me, and he took a picture with Trippy over there.
Yeah.
And I said to Trippy, after this was a bit like, I'm so glad he lived up to it, because he's a very down to earth, man of the people kind of guy. And I was like, can you imagine if you met someone like that and he was a cunt? How could you have that?
I'll put this on record. Like, I've never met Sam Fender. I don't know anything about him. It's just my prejudgment, and it's based on nothing. So I could be completely wrong. Yeah. But we having a chat back at the tent maybe an hour or two ago, and we was like, who do you think would be a bit of a dickhead? And I love Sam Fender. Yeah. I do. And I could be completely wrong, as you say. But we just had the vibe that he might be a bit standoffish. Yeah. But it's based on nothing. And I would hate for people to have that opinion of me.
He was very half and half. He didn't offer, he wasn't like, I wouldn't walk away and say, like our interaction when I was like, he was lovely, took the piss, we had a chat.
Right.
He was very like, of course you can, mate, no problem. Right. And then he took it, and I was like, oh, you looking forward to today? And he was like, yeah. Can you take a picture of me, mate? Yeah, I can. Took it, and off we went. Right. But at the same time, I kind of get, like, as you say, I'm very self-aware in the sense of, like, the bloke, it's 11 a.m.
Yeah.
He's probably driven from wherever he played last night. He's having a coffee with his mate.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are we to walk out? He's taken a picture. He's been nice.
I disagree.
He hit the satisfactory level. That's where I put him at. He didn't do anything wrong at all. But I wouldn't describe it as like the most mind-blowing experience at the same time.
The way I see it, though, like you're a fan of him.
Yeah,
like,
massive.
And what people tend to forget is that people who are in a privileged position, such as myself, would not be anywhere. If everyone just decided not to listen to my podcast, I wouldn't get this fucking luxury life.
Yeah, 100%.
So it's like, when people come over, this is the thing, like the biggest thing people say is when they come over and they go, I'm so sorry for wasting your time. So why are you sorry? Like, literally, you've never paid a penny to listen to me, and you still do. Like,
yeah.
Literally,
but that's the instinct. My instinct is, to me, you're like, I've listened to the podcast, you're bought it for Stevie for his birthday.
Right.
You're here as a fan of the music. You're here to have a good time.
Yeah.
I don't want to be one of those people that kind of interrupts that day.
But then why? You're a lovely guy. So why meeting you would it make my time any worse?
I know. But
it's
interesting,
more,
isn't it?
I have a real thing of it because of what we do now, and we've been doing it for the last couple of years. We've been meeting quite a lot of people a lot of the time. So I'm always like, I feel like if I want to meet someone, I'm going to meet someone in a professional setting where I can have that chat and be like, look, I really love your stuff. I'm really a massive fan of what you do and how you do it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be able to do that and it be
authentic,
almost an authentic situation where it's not rushed, if you know what I mean. So in this situation, huge fan of your podcast, really am, and I'm really appreciative of how you talk about OCD, because I also have OCD. I talk about it very openly as well, but it's one of the ones where, like, I listen to you talk about it and I go, mate, nailed on, like, it's fucking, I relate to it properly.
Yeah.
And like, it's one of the ones where I know that in a professional sense, there's a lot of people that I'm going to meet in this life of doing what we're doing because we back ourselves.
Yeah.
So actually meeting someone, we met Bazinga once.
We did,
years ago.
Right then, team, sorry to interrupt the podcast, but we are yet again sponsored by our good friends at Photo Mafia Studios. They're a photography brand that works with lots of different people in fashion, music, artists, all the types of the creative arts that you want. They take photos, videography, and they have a really, really affordable and cheap studio hire for £25 an hour based in Northampton. If you want to get involved with them, they do a range of podcasts that they produce and they help shoot for. And if you're thinking about getting into that space, then they are the good ones to get in contact with because they've helped us out with a few things in the past with press shots and everything like that. If you want to keep an eye on what they're doing, they have lots of update. They run exhibitions, they run art shows, they help out with lessons and upcoming bands and stuff like that. They get the gigs out there. They really do push for the Northamptonshire scene. It's really good to see, and it's really good for us lot that are also involved. They're a brilliant brand to work with. We love working with Photo Mafia Studios, and if you want to get involved with them, make sure you check out their website, www.photomafiastudios.com, and also their social media at Photo Mafia Studios. They are brilliant. And we love Photo Mafia Studios. They are a quality brand to work with. And if you want to get involved, you know where to look. They have a range of books and stuff that are on sale. So go check them out. They've got really good studio space and they are a pleasure to work with.
Okay.
We did,
years ago. Years ago.
Good or not?
Yeah, it was
To be honest,
we were little cunts at the time.
Yeah,
2016, we were little shitbags, and we went like running over and fucking it's Bazinga. You know exactly what you don't want. The little we were that at the time.
I'll be honest. Like back in the day, like I've only started properly getting recognised maybe the last 7 years. The first 3 years, nothing. The first time I started getting recognised was like you said, little kids. The run over. I loved it.
Yeah.
It's a big ego. I wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
And then as I got a bit older, I like meeting people like yourselves who are like on a level. They're really respectful. And a couple of years ago, I'll admit, like kids would come over and I'd think, why am I wasting my time with it? But then as you get older, you just realise like these are the people that have given me everything. But let me ask you this: like when you meet someone, do you want to meet them or do you want to get a selfie with them?
I don't want to selfie with them. I have a bit of a thing, whereas unless it's in a professional setting, I'm very rarely going to take selfies.
Then you're fine.
I'll be very appreciative of your work, and especially with musicians as well. I'm very much like, look, if I bump into someone, I'm like, look, I love your work, I think you're brilliant.
That's the sickest thing
because
ever.
Because photos for me, I don't open my fucking phone for most things. The only thing I ever do on my phone and my laptop is work on this shit and work on what we do on social media and all that stuff. I work on that. Yeah. That's all. The only reason I open my laptop. Yeah. So it's like, actually, I'm not interested in taking a photo because it means nothing to me.
Well, that's the sickest thing ever. Because that is what most people want to do. Like, I've seen people here this weekend. Like, this is the thing. I clock people talking about me way before they know.
That's mad. That's weird.
I've got a fucking radar. I'll say to Joel, I'll go, them over there.
They're fucking they know me.
Does that sorry to bring it to like the OCD stuff. Is that something that pulls in and it kind of is it a little bit of a trigger for you?
Prangs me out big time.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because like as soon as someone comes over, I'm fine with it. So I know their intentions.
Yeah.
But when I see them going, I'm like, do they think I'm a cunt? Are they slagging me off? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
My OCD makes me overthink it. And I start panicking. Like, again, not in an arrogant way, but most people are positive, but my brain will always go to, they fucking hate me.
Yeah.
They're going to do something.
Yeah.
And I've had a few examples where people have been cunts. So your brain like...
It goes back to that, like, it almost is like a triggering scenario in an anxiety. And then you latch onto it and you just can't... You can't forget
shake it,
man.
Like, Joel will go to me, mate, don't worry, like, how many people have been sound? And I'll go, yeah, but I'm not
That's not the point, is it? Yeah,
especially when you're at a festival, you had a few to drink.
Yeah.
But what I was saying to you about, like, you don't want a selfie, you just want to go up to people. That means the world to people. Yeah. Like, it means the fucking world. Like, I will happily, and again, I just want to put it on record, I do not think I'm the big I am at all. I'm successful. I used to tell people, when people used to say to me, you're famous, I used to say no, to play it down and be humble. There's no getting away from it. Yes,
you are famous, mate. Yeah, of course you are.
There's no getting away from it.
Yeah.
But, like, when people come over and they're like, that's absolutely fine. But what means the most is, like, I was in America a couple of weeks ago. This guy was crossing the road, and as he crossed, he just went, "JaackMaate, love your shit." I fist bumped him, and he just walked off. And I was like, "You're not gaining anything from me right now." Like, there was a guy, I can't remember what I said, but there was a guy in the main stage yesterday. Like I said to you, everyone's been sound. There's one prick, and there's these two guys walking past. I clock them way before they know, and this guy goes, "What's that?" And his mate goes, all right, and then the guy who didn't know me comes over. He goes, "Here's a photo." I'm like,
He's
didn't even say like, so-
Just airdrop him something.
I've got loads of shit.
But I just took the photo like that, and then he looked at his mate and went, "I done it, mate. I done it." And they were like, "Hey," like, "Oh, that's well good banter." That he took a selfie with me.
But that's the mad thing, like, and again, like for me, like I had a photo of you earlier when we met, and that's like the difference between. Like my first intention is to meet you and say hello. That's I'm a massive fan. I want to have a bit of a chat with you. I say a bit of banter, whatever. That's like the first intention. Second intention to get you sat where you are now.
Right.
We've got
I like. He doesn't deny it.
That's sweet. Why would we? Are you joking? Like, we're not fucking.
Do you want to have a conversation with you?
Like, we're not playing around. We fucking, of course, we want Jack Mate on the podcast. That's massive.
I love the
That's
honesty.
second. If at the end of the conversation I went, I have something to remember. Someone to put my girlfriend's a massive fan as well. She listens every week.
Sick.
Someone to send her and say, guess who my new mate is. And fucking put a picture of me and you. That's like a little token. But I guess that's bottom of my list. Kind of after we've been through everything, and I guess it's that process of being like, you're a human being to have a chat with first. That's first. If we could fucking have a bit
honesty, because that's exactly how I am. I like to pretend that I'm like, oh, I'm not trying to get anything from you, and then I meet a celebrity, I'm like, but will you come on my podcast?
Every fucking dog will say it.
Mate,
You know what I mean?
No, you've got to. It's everyone for themselves. My biggest rule in life is fake it till you make it.
Sure.
I remember once when I had no subscribers, I went to a FIFA tournament purely because I knew the guy that was organising it. Ashley Young, right, was sat there playing FIFA. I went next to him. I weren't playing him at all. I was just on the console next to him. Got my mates to take a photo, and I put that shit on Instagram. And I went, "Great to catch up with Ashley Young." Fake it till you make it. He read it. He went, "What the fuck?"
You have got to, mate.
It's everything, and like, especially like where we're sat here. If someone walks past, you got to be like, obviously our intention, but fucking come and sit down and have a chat with us. That's everything. So like, that has to be where we're at.
Yeah, no, you guys are chill. Though. I can't see why people wouldn't want to do it. Yeah.
Who won the FIFA tournament, by the way? I didn't keep up with your tweets.
There's a guy called Alec that won it. Wasn't it, Joe? He asked who won the FIFA tournament.
Did you play?
You're empty-handed.
You watched the final though. You watched the final. So good.
You're empty-handed.
Should I talk about Alec on here? Nah, I can't.
Yeah, why not? What's wrong with Alec?
So there's this guy, right?
It doesn't matter, mate. We're just,
we're just having a chat now. The podcast
it's all gone.
Alfie's reply was so fucking good. So there's this guy, right, at Robbie Knox's tournament. There's this guy, he's won it 9 times out of 11.
I was
like, who's this guy, right? And he lost his first game. And I was watching out of the corner of my eye, and he started watching FIFA tutorials like the whole day. When everyone else is drinking, I'm like, who's this guy, right?
What the fuck?
And then, long story short, he gets to the final like he always fucking does. But so does Alfie, because Alfie's sick at FIFA.
Yeah.
But Alfie, like we were saying earlier, he was off his nut. Like,
Lovely.
He couldn't sit up.
3 beers and he'd done every sort of
yeah. He could not sit up. And Alfie went 1-0 up. And he kept going to this guy, "I'm going to beat you, bruv." And he never says bruv. Anyway, he lost 3-1, right?
Yeah.
And then we get home, and then on the Facebook group, the nerd who wins every time, who was sober, by the way,
cheating.
He messaged Alfie and put, I remember the first time I got drunk. And Alfie went, "Yeah, but you don't remember the last time you got drunk because that was about 11 tournaments ago." He's like, so sad. And I was like, "That's a great shout from Alfie. Great shout.
Alfie, by the way, we'd love to get on here as a music podcast.
He's got nothing on. He's got so much free
all the time. In fact, FaceTime him. He'll come in now.
He'll come now.
Yeah.
3 hours, mate.
We'd love that. Before you go, mate, because I've taken a lot of your time. We've got some music questions, I think. Some general music questions about you. This is a music podcast. We'll get back to it.
Yeah.
So I'll go straight in. Favourite artist of all time?
Kings of Leon.
Really?
Yeah.
That's quite right. How come?
I just grew up listening to them.
Yeah.
And then I kind of went off them the last few years. And then they played the O2 in London a couple of weeks ago. And me and my sister never hang out. We don't have that kind of relationship. But I took her to it and we got pissed on the train. It was a lovely moment. She loves them. Or Jamie T.
Oh.
Have you listened to his new album?
His new album?
Yeah.
What do you think of it?
It's okay. I won't lie. I've only listened to it a couple of times, so I don't know the tracks one by one. But there's one that stands out for me, and it's a dead story because I can't remember what the name is.
Fine, that's no problem. We're a little bit.
Definitely.
He's one of both of our favourite artists.
What's your favourite Jamie T tune of all time?
Oh my fucking god, that's a
Brand New Bass Guitar.
Love it.
The first song
massive, mate.
On Panic Prevention. That's
Love it.
fucking belter, mate.
Love it.
I don't even know. That's such a big question. I do fucking love Sheila, to be fair.
Yeah, mate. It's just iconic, Sheila.
One that gets me is If You Got the Money.
Yeah, that's
It's
mine.
a
That's
massive.
mine.
It's
That's
actually.
mine.
It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fucking
And I also like Emily's Heart.
Emily's Heart.
sick.
That whole
Emily's
album,
Heart,
yeah.
Carry on the Grudge, it means so much to us.
I'll tell you what,
doesn't
that's what actually got me into indie music. That album, Carry on the
Yeah.
Grudge.
Do you know why he called it Panic Prevention?
Go on.
Do you not know?
No, I
that
don't
story?
know.
I heard that it's because when he was young, and like I'll come across a cunt here, but like a lot of people have anxiety.
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course,
Like,
yeah.
It's nothing to be like turn your nose up at all. But in like 20 years ago, it wasn't that known.
No,
You know what
yeah,
I
of
mean?
course.
So, like,
Yeah,
there'll be
absolutely.
a select few people out there, I'm not accusing anyone, who use it as like a bit of an excuse now. Like, I'm
Yeah.
a bit, no, you're just nervous, mate. But
Yeah,
they'll be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I've got anxiety.
20.
Whenever that album came out, like 10, 15 years ago, Jamie T had anxiety so bad that his mum used to say, go up in the room, and he used to put his headphones on, and that's why he called it Panic Prevention, because he was just writing tunes.
That's fucking sick.
And that's sick.
So
and he's
how sick is
written
that?
absolute bangers.
And bangers,
Yeah.
mate.
I love
He's a
that.
genius.
I'll tell you
I
what,
love
he's
that
one
as
of
an answer.
like, artistically, as indie music goes in the UK, he is one of
It's a
the.
pinnacle.
I think he is up there with top 5 greatest
100%.
English like
World-class, mate.
British
World-class.
music.
We love him.
100%.
Obsessed.
He's so
I saw him at
iconic.
Glasgow a couple of weeks ago. It was
Yeah,
sick.
mate,
you
I
there?
watched it on fucking
Mate,
iPlayer. It's
so
fucking
sick.
unbelievable.
So
mate.
sick.
It looked fucking
I
mental.
went and watched Paul McCartney because I felt like you have to. 'Cause he ain't got long hair.
This is how I had. This is something we had this conversation. I
Fuck
said I
Paul
want to make
McCartney,
sure I
mate.
saw to get to Paul McCartney, just
Yeah.
because you feel like you got to win it.
Yeah, what's he got? 2 years max?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
So
Do you know what I mean?
you have
They've got to wheel him out now anyway.
He's on a drip. You have to go. And then I was with Fiona and another one of my mates, and we were all watching it, and none of us said anything. And after about an hour, one of my mate went, "Bit dead, innit?" I went, "Yeah, should we
Yeah,
go?"
yeah,
And then
yeah,
Jamie
yeah,
T.
Jamie T.
Yeah, and then we went Jamie T. Mate.
Sick,
Sick,
mate.
yeah. What's the best album of all time?
Best album of all time for me.
We've had this debate on the podcast.
We have had
several
this debate
times.
multiple
And what,
times.
It's massive.
what'd you come to?
Well,
Joel, what's the best album?
yeah.
of all
What
time?
do you? We've got another mic. Sit it up.
Come in. Come
Get
on,
another mic.
come
Get
on.
another mic. Put
Come
the
on,
mic
yeah,
up.
we
Come
do.
on, mate.
Come on.
Get in.
Come on.
Let's let you
Come
stick
on.
your
I
mic
love
up.
this shit. Like, it's so improv.
Get
There we go.
Yeah,
There's an extra
yeah,
mic for
yeah,
you there,
yeah.
mate.
What's
It's
the
all
best
right.
album?
What's your
This
favourite
is Joel, by the way.
Hello,
And
Joel.
You're always in my stories. You're like the unsung hero. You're the funniest guy I know.
Is he in the reserves for the podcast?
He is in the reserves.
Yeah,
You
I
came
love
on
that.
the Christmas podcast. I was doing fuck.
talk about it.
I do not talk about it because I was off my nuts. Yeah. I had an all night
Best
the night
album
before.
of
didn't
all
you?
time.
Yeah.
Best album of all time. It's quite easy to say the Beatles' White Album for me.
The Beatles are
That's
criticised.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Let's talk about
No
the
one.
greatest people in the world.
Oh, okay, sorry, no, I will go with Colour It In by the Maccabees.
I know.
I tell you what,
There you go.
massive
That's
fan
the
of
answer we
Maccabees.
want.
Massive fan of the
Maccabees
Maccabees.
are
That's a
outrageous.
great shout.
Colour It In's fantastic.
I'll go for the
Yes.
streets. A grand don't come for free. No, sorry, I fucked it.
That's
Original
okay.
pirate material.
Okay.
That's the best one. Yeah.
Massive.
Yeah. Even though Mike Skinner did mug me off that time.
Maybe.
Did he? Insert Mark Skinner story.
It's very quick.
Go
I
on.
love him. I've got
Yeah,
a
yeah,
t-shirt with him on and everything. I commented on his Instagram saying, "Mike, come on my podcast." Some girl replied going, "Lol, cringe," and he liked that comment. And got live. I was like,
That's not good, mate. That's not
That's
good.
not good.
That's
It's
not good at all.
Most overrated artist of all time.
One band I've never been able to get into,
Yeah.
and I appreciate they could be popular, but Biffy Clyro.
I know what you mean.
Yeah?
No,
I've never got into them.
Nah.
I wouldn't say they're
I'm
most
not into them
overrated,
at all.
but I've never
So
got
their
into
new
them.
stuff was okay when it was alright, but
Yeah.
I don't really get the vibe, to be fair. And they're massive.
Yeah, they
Huge,
are.
biggest band of all time.
Which is fair play to them. Like,
Yeah,
obviously
mate,
they got
Can't
fan
knock
for
it,
you.
mate, but
Yeah.
100%.
What's yours?
Mine's quite controversial.
Yeah, love
Go
it.
on.
I think Queen are massively overrated.
Wow! Look at this guy! This guy rates it! This guy Why are you not on the pod? You get on the pod!
Trippy, man. What's
Yeah,
that?
it is sacrilege.
That-
Bohemian
like-
Rhapsody is the
He
best
had
song
AIDS!
of all time.
He had AIDS!
He nearly died.
No, he did die! He very famously did die!
It's
He
very
nearly
public.
died.
It's public. He's dead.
He nearly died!
It's come out.
I hate to break it to you, mate. I hate to break it.
We're not breaking it. He's been dead for a while.
Yeah.
I nearly died. What the fuck was that? I'm nervous, Jack. I've held it together for an hour.
Wait till you hear that George Michael. It was shit. No, he is never going to dance again, let me tell you.
He had the faith though, didn't he?
I think Bohemian Rhapsody is a good start. But Queen aren't that good.
Oh, give it a rest. Bohemian Rhapsody is the best song of all
Yeah,
time.
that's a fantastic song. It's not the best
It's the best
song
song of all time.
Yeah.
But the best artist of all time,
Yeah, David Bowie.
Oh.
good shout. I'd say Barry from EastEnders.
And here he is.
We're going to do it anyway. Is he still knocking about?
I don't know.
We need to get him on this
we need to
podcast.
get him.
We need to get him on. We need to get him on.
Popping off
If,
over
if I manage to get him on, you have to promise me you'll ask him his real name.
Yeah,
Okay.
fine.
Love
That's
it.
a deal.
Love
Mate.
it.
That
Love
is a
it.
deal.
All right, let's go grab him. Should we grab him?
Lewis?
Huh? Lewis, grab him. I like it. Lads,
Fantastic.
pleasure.
Mate,
Keep it up.
pleasure.
You're good
Jack,
lads.
we appreciate it so
No
much.
worries,
mate.
no worries at all. No worries. Keep
Thank
it up.
you.
Tell me again the podcast name.
Scratch Record Podcast.
Subscribe to the Scratch Record Podcast. Here we go.
Amazing.
We
Nice
DM'd you, you said you'd come on, and we weren't following you, so you called us a cunt.
That sounds very much like it.
Right. Well, that was JaackMaate.
Yeah.
How the fuck have we pulled that off?
How wild! That was a big thing. That was a very
crazy.
big thing.
That was not. That was. I'll tell you what. There was some stuff that was spoke about in there that just was nice to talk to someone else in the field of podcasting. So it's very rare that we get that.
Yeah, 100%. Especially his episode came out on Monday. Was the #1 episode all week.
It's mental.
So it's not even speaking to someone in the scene. It's speaking to someone that is top of the UK scene in theory, on the episodes that come out and stuff. So, I mean, it's wild to get an opportunity to sit down with someone like that and have a bit of a chat. He's such a fucking I do want to say this because he gets quite a lot of shit, especially because of the YouTube videos he used to make.
Yeah.
And I know especially now, a lot of the West Ham stuff, he gets a lot of shit. People really hate on him. One of the nicest blokes we have ever met.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to give him the very positive PR that he deserves from it because we went over to meet him and then just said, look, if you get 2 minutes, come and say hello in front of the camera, that would be so sick for us. And he came over and sat down for an hour when he paid to be at a festival to have a good time with his mates. So wouldn't expect him to do that. Didn't need to do it. He did it. So fair fucks. What a nice bloke. And hopefully people kind of realise that he might have sort of spoke some shit back in the day on YouTube, but now he's a lovely bloke.
He is a lovely bloke. I did really enjoy the chat with him, and he said some really positive stuff about what we were doing, which I think is really, really cool.
Yes,
it was very heartfelt. Some of the moments that we had in there, and I was like, "This is just."
You shouldn't have kissed him. You shouldn't.
I didn't kiss him. I didn't.
You shouldn't have done
I didn't.
that.
I didn't. Next time.
That's a promise.
Oh, kiss him. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed talking to him. So if you enjoyed the podcast that we did with JaackMaate, we literally, that relaxed vibe and that style of interviewing is kind of what we do. It's like our whole thing is making sure that people actually find out about the people and their actual experiences instead of this wanky shit about when's your next song coming out?
Yeah.
Who's your biggest influence? What did you do for the album? How did you record? Do you know what I mean? It's like, we don't actually like talking to the people, and sometimes we don't even get onto the music. So if you like that style of stuff, make sure you stick about. We're here. We'll be here every week now for the next 25 weeks. We're getting ourselves up to episode 100, and this is our 4th season. So we've got plenty of stuff in the category.
Yeah, 100% in the catalogue.
Catalogue.
Go over to the socials, get over to all that stuff. We're at the SR podcast and everything. And again, even on there, try and be lighthearted. Plenty of stuff that goes up. And you never know if people like this sort of stuff. Maybe we'll get more kind of celebrities that we can to come on and talk about music and things like that. If that's the sort of thing that works, then great. But yeah, if you've just come here for JaackMaate, we hope you enjoyed it. And if you stick around anything else, then we would be very appreciative.
Yeah, for sure. And Town Takeover festival we're putting on. It's the first festival that's happening like this in Northamptonshire. It includes bands from all over the shop. So if you haven't got a ticket yet, make sure you get a ticket. So come down. It's gonna be a huge day. Have a look on our socials for the lineup. The lineup's mega. There's 30 bands, 4 venues. It's only 20 quid a ticket. So give us a little message if you want any more information on the bands and stuff. So, and if we want to give any suggestions and things like that. But yeah, go check it out. But thank you for listening. It's been a pleasure to have the years.
It's been a pleasure to have the years. What a scary way to end it. That's now going to end, and they're driving the car. The last thing they heard is, "It was a pleasure to have your ears."
It was a pleasure.
Are you taking possession of their ears?
No. Just for
That's very possessive.
I have though for the last hour. We've had possession of their
eardrums. Possession of their canals. Can't say that.
You can't say that.
No, let's delete all of this. No, it was a pleasure, and hopefully people enjoyed the interview, gave a little bit of insight into JaackMaate that maybe you haven't had before. That's the hope.
For sure. And thank you very much for listening, watching, and viewing. Make sure you subscribe.
Watching and viewing is the same thing.
Oh, fuck off, Joe. We've been doing this for too long. Right, we love you all. Thank you very much. Peace.
Thank you for watching and viewing.